And it's interesting. All the years of doing this broadcast, I'd get somebody said, "Well, if you add up Bill Clinton's name, it's going to be 666, and if you add up George Bush's name, he's the Antichrist." And now, of course, coming to Obama. And of course, you probably heard there's not going to be another election. Martial law is coming. And of course, there was an election, and then martial law came. But he's changing the country in a maybe in a more sinister way by being so open about it. Just to say we're gonna go this way. We're gonna send trillions of dollars over here that we don't have, and we're going to roll back stem cell research. We're gonna clone apes with chickens and then mix them with some babies and see what we come up with. So he is changing a lot of things, and so we should know about as much as we can. And I think your comparison that they may be cloned or brought back from history to today is just as relevant as somebody who said, he's a Democrat and he comes from a long line of Democrats. I mean, to me, that both sides of that needs to be heard.
Well, and I have a question also. I would just like to know why there are people out there that don't really want to know the truth or to want to seek deeper into a matter. It kind of boggles my mind, having a conversation, and it's cut short because they don't believe that, or it's weird, or it's out there, or it's not what they're used to. I just don't understand why people aren't seeking deeper into certain subjects. I don't understand that.
I don't know if you'd be surprised or not at how much anger and aggression my Barakanutin article has generated. I seem to be an incredulity meter, so to see how far your imagination has been culled, and I get a lot of angry responses like, you're COINTELPRO, you're obviously on the other side, you're trying to, how could that be? Give me a break. I mean,
and
really.
What are they going by? Where is their evidence? Where is their knowledge coming from? Is it just something that they heard? Is it a good feeling? Is it they're just on a certain level that they can't sink any deeper into? They won't allow themselves. I don't know.
Well, there has been a conditioning going on through the education system to either just give the answer that you believe is most plausible, and then they okay that. The teacher's like, yes, okay, well, you gave me an answer. It's not the right one, but that's great. And so we have been conditioned to just give the most plausible answer we can come up with. And
by the way, we have a picture of a heart facility up on the site now, but you were saying earlier that there is, and I don't know if you were saying it was the hate and the angst and the anger that you say is building, of course, class warfare, building up to make people angry. But there is one person that those machines, whether it's coming from HARP or whether it's coming from drugs or something in the water, that it's not affected. And I'm going to see, I think we have him on tape here. Let's see if we bring him up here. See if you recognize who he is, because evidently not everybody in this country is angry. Hi, I'm Joe Osteen. Will you be my friend here on the program today? Send me in a couple dollars. Well, there you go. That was well, all right. Maybe that wasn't tape, but I'm saying he is not angry.
He doesn't appear angry.
So
we only see what we see.
So therefore the anger thing's not working on him.
He is human.
It definitely doesn't work on everyone. It matters how much your imagination is open and how much you're open to the love vibe and how much you feel what we call the Holy Spirit in your own soul.
And why is it when we try to not be angry and we try to just be peaceful and we try to think about things, reasoning something out and not being angry, sleeping on it so the next day when we get up we can, we have a whole new perspective of it and we're not so anxious to, get in somebody's face or, raise our blood pressure and have a heart attack, that if we do something like that, somehow we've slipped off the deep end, we're totally into some kind of, Kabbalah or Buddhism or whatever, Christianity, whatever they want to call us, it's just I just don't understand that. Does that make any sense?
I don't think I understand.
Well, okay, what I'm saying is we're conditioned in a way to be angry.
Right.
But if some of us try to find peace, and if something comes about in our life that that we want to get angry about, or blow up about, instead of doing that, we instead say, there's a bigger picture here. It's really not that bad. If I sleep on it tomorrow, I'll get up and I'm not going to be that angry. I'll see it in a different perspective. I'll have an answer.
Right.
If we do this and we let our friends know, or certain people know, then all of a sudden we're in yoga.
What you're really saying though is there's a lot of people that are brainwashed, and when you try to relate information to them, they do consider the truth seekers, the fringe, the people running around in the woods with aluminum hats saying the sky's falling. But Freeman, I can tell you this though, I've confronted people that have said that to us, and I said, okay, if I were to tell you in 2005 that in 2008 the stock market would crash and our greatest financial institutions would melt down, millions of people would lose their jobs, hundreds of thousands of people would lose their homes, trillions of dollars we don't have would be in a vain attempt to revamp the economy, they would have said you're a lunatic.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's it's levels. It's definitely levels. One thing is that you go through the same stages of grief that you would if you found out you were dying, because you've had your whole life invested in a concept, in a belief system that you thought was true, and all of a sudden here come people stripping it all away. I'm telling you, you don't know who designed the American flag. You don't even know what the word America means. This has all been a show, a facade. It's a fakery to make you do what they want you to do, or others coming forth with the idea of chemtrails killing you, and breathing in barium and aluminum, and flu-like symptoms, and all of these other horrendous things that are going on. You name it, FEMA camps, whatever.
Right.
And people aren't ready to accept that. They aren't ready to allow their entire investment to go to waste, and so they cling. And you go through the exact same type of stages of grief that you would if you found out you were dying. So you go through denial, you go through anger, you go through pleading, until finally you reach acceptance and say, oh, okay, this is going on, and well, I'm here now, maybe I should just roll with it. So there can be great achievements that come out of thinking that you're going to die. It definitely, doomsday scenario isn't all bad. You are going to die, So if you take this into account, and then you realize that you're free, you are now free, because all of the belief systems have been stripped away. You can go form your own. You can go make your own connection with the universe, and you will find that the universe is alive and loving you, and that there is something greater than what the sorcerers have taught you as your material reality.
Right. And I think you mentioned that too in the first hour. In the word pharmaceutical comes from the root word pharmacia, which comes from the word witchcraft. So when you talk about there's a sort of a blinding witchcraft going on, the drugging of America. Man, I don't, and Jamie started to say here in one of our exchanges that you take a certain amount of drugs and you have to take another certain amount of drugs to offset that, and so America is drugged up. Now we have this drug war, of course, with Mexico, where they're saying, hey, if America wasn't so drugged up, we wouldn't be coming over the border, and so if you,
and the side effect is complacency.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you come off of it, you become psycho. I've seen people out at the rainbow gatherings who, where there are 30,000, 20,000 people in a national forest, all living together there for a month or two. And I've seen people that ran out of their prescriptions, they ran out of their Prozac, and just totally went nuts. And I mean, to the point of grabbing people, trying to kill them. Coming off of these drugs is far worse than the condition that they had when they decided to take them. And so we have, when the market crashes and everybody can't get their Prozac, they're going to be insane, because it's a side effect of coming down off of the drug.
Freeman, I've heard people describe Obama as as Hitler was in the 30s, a person who was a rabble-rouser out in the street, maybe just sort of a German community organizer, and he railed against the state and said, if you elect me, I'll bring you jobs. And of course they had sort of a recession there anyway, and he said, we'll take money from the people that have it and give it to you. And then of course they had the brown shirts coming out. They were threatening anybody who would object. But there's a striking correlation between Hitler's rise to power and Obama's rise to power. In the end, what would you see Obama's